When I first read the script, Jamil has such an intricate mind that you almost need to decipher things before getting full understanding. And there was just so much terminology and so many names, and whew, it was a melting pot of everything. So I think I read the script about 3 times, and the 3rd time I went, oh, this is what's going on. And it was brilliant. I don't know how his mind works, but he's truly gifted. Layla, a producer of note. So those two coming together were just perfect combination. The synergy of the project and the two is just out of this world. So having read the script 3rd time, I was like, I'm in. I am in. I remember just experiencing the grandiose of what Blood Psalms was. And I think when we all signed up, we just assumed, okay, we know it's going to be an African production, really trying to create that standard. But seeing the costumes being created from conception till the final product gave you an idea of how grand the project was. I'll take Umna's costume for instance. Umna is barely dressed. And I think a lot of characters are barely dressed, and it gives it that realness. It becomes a very organic feel. But my character is literally woven cotton that's created into a bustier, and in a time where there was no sewing machines, you picture it, you see it, you understand it. But just the craftsmanship that went into creating every single outfit from every single tribe was absolutely mind-blowing. You could tell how powerful a nation was in the costumes and just the grandiose of their buildings. I mean, we had a set that I performed in. Just walking on that set for the first time felt like I was actually in Egypt. It felt like I was in a time warp, and here I was in Africa once more.
We are guy, listen to holo, sami, sisa tama tlogonolo.
Ga se nako ya metshameko ya gago mo lemeng ka maso.
Fa go le motho o metshameko go lo fa motlogolo wa meng kutle fa ka go raya ke ere ga se nna.
Playing the character Umna meant I had to bring a lot of myself into the character. I had to carry the strength of Enhle. I had to carry the delicacy of Mbali. And that's why I have separated my name, because it's a yin-yang. And I feel like Umna was just that. She's the perfect balance of yin and yang. And we have that in common. And I don't think I want to separate her from me, because I brought me to her. And I enjoyed bringing that part of myself to being. Umna is a very rooted character, and she's rooted in that she's given her life basically to fighting cause that is great. She is all about being fair. She is all about making sure the end product is as perfect as she meticulously planned in her head. She is a warrior princess, and she has a really big journey with regards to protecting this blood psalm that I think with time everyone will see. But I'm a very delicate spirit as Enhle Mbali. So playing Umna meant I had to harden her. I had to flare the nostril when I spoke. I was constantly aware of the environment I was in. A lot of performance went into it with regards to just softening and hardening the character, because she's the best of both worlds. She has to be a bit seductive. She has to be a fighter. She has to be intelligent enough to calculate situations. The perception of her is absolute strength. She never shows weakness because she doesn't want to be weak. Her and her mother's relationship is based off her being strong. And we see it in one of the scenes where her mother pushes her to do something at that point. And she leads. And they get it. She's a woman leader. She's in a time where leaders didn't have a sex. She's in a time where it was pretty limpid to be a leader. A child could be a leader, a woman could be a leader, a man could be a leader. And she takes on that role, and she leads so damn well. I would definitely say there are huge similarities between myself and Umna, and the spirit of fight the spirit of fighting for what is right, the spirit of fighting, not always fairly, for the bigger picture, but nitpicking the garbage of society and cleaning it and protecting, in essence, what is right. I think we have that in common. We have that spirit of Winnie. She is her own tribe. She's a nomad. She travels around the continent to fix the problems we have. So she's almost a superhero of the time. So she doesn't have a main base. She is from the Golden Dawn, which are the fighters at that point. They fight to keep Africa in balance between yin and yang. They're travelers, and they pretty much speak everything. But they also live in a time where language was not a barrier, and the people of the continent spoke every language. And I think that's why the director wanted to encompass every single language within the show, from Swahili to Zulu to Xhosa to Bedi. And that's beautiful, because we don't do that in Africa. It's either you're in the box or you're out. And we just colored outside every single line, and it was beautiful to watch it come together.
En swarele ke sa umaka moemedi wa morena wa heke.
Usithola kwakho kwamanga. Ngibuya kude leja. Anginazi isikhathi sokulalelana nezikhalo zakho.
The darkest point Umna probably has within the project is she's such a perfectionist. Every plan of hers must work as she planned. And at some point, a weakness comes through where she hurts herself. And for the first time, she's vulnerable. She cannot fight. She cannot do anything. And all she can do is turn to the gods and ask for assistance, as she knows that this is truly deep and it's not something we can play with. It's the blood psalm. That was her lowest point, and I think I felt her from the womb, and I think a lot of people will feel her from the womb, because it's such an organic moment that I feel a lot of people go through in just normal life journey. I think a lot of people will connect with that, and I love that in her lowest moment, she goes right to her gods and, praise. I love that. I love that. What makes this character completely different to what I've played in my career of 18 years is that it's a timepiece about Africa for Africans, to educate as well as entertain. And it just opens up the Pandora's box of, that old school television of we can only tell current stories, and stories of apartheid and stories that we've told a lot of times. So this is completely new. My favorite characters, firstly, were the army. I think I was a bit envious in that they got to fight, and the journey of just martial arting and sorting each other down, and the gruesomeness of killing somebody. And just the journey of how hard it is to be in the Great Hall of Kimberley and wind speed being extremely high, and you're still there, and it's raining. And I think as a woman, I'd love that opportunity. I'd love to see self in that. Fun fact about prepping for my character, I watched a lot of timepieces that were done internationally, and I wanted to reference a lot of these, and I realized, no, these are European stories being told by European people, and this is an African story being told from an African perspective. So I had to look within, and that was the preparation. I had to look within.